Do you feel like you're not getting visits, you're not getting favorites, you're not getting sales, and you have no clue why? Like, what is wrong with your shop? If that is you right now, don't worry, you're not alone, but you don't have to stay stuck there. I actually didn't get a sale for my first 2 months on Etsy, and I realized it wasn't that my product was terrible, it was that I wasn't even getting seen. And within 8 weeks of solving that problem, I'm making over $10,000 a month. Now, a little bit about my background. My name is Dylan. I've been in e-commerce for over 13 years. I started in corporate e-commerce. So I was working for some big companies, Zappos, Zulily, and then I started an Etsy shop. And when I applied everything I knew from corporate e-commerce to the Etsy platform, I made over $1 million in profit, and it was over $1.7 million in revenue. We now have a company of 53 team members. We have helped over 5,800 Etsy sellers. Our community of Etsy sellers, including our podcast, is over 700,000 people. And about a year and a half ago, I launched a software company called Etsy, and this is a tool that helps Etsy sellers get found with their SEO. That is what today is about. You can see we have helped people go from a few $100s a month to over $90,000 in a week. We've helped people surpass their goals of 10K per month and hit things like 16,000 a month. We've helped people scale to over 100,000 a month with digital products alone. When you launch a shop, let's talk about the golden window, because whether you are past this or you are in this right now, it is important to understand. And this is in the first 30 to 45 days. Etsy does prioritize new shops, and they give new shops a natural boost. Most sellers waste this time. They launch a shop and they think, oh, I'll see how it goes. And because they don't launch with the right strategies, they're not even getting any benefit from this boost that Etsy's giving them. And then once they decide to get help, usually it's like 30 to 45 days later, they've already wasted the boost. So the idea is you want to launch correctly so that you maximize this natural boost that Etsy is giving your shop. This training will help you maximize that boost. So I do want to assess your situation, and if you're comfortable putting in the comments kind of where you're at with things. Are you at a point where you are not copying, but taking inspiration from other people's best sellers, but yet you're still not seeing great sales? Or maybe you're realizing like, wow, my shop is stuck and everyone else's shops seem to be taking off. Where do you kind of fall? How are you feeling about your shop right now? So let's jump into the 3 steps of how to finally get seen on Etsy and not get shadow banned. And then there is a bonus that I'll be teaching you about how to improve your shop's quality score at the end. The first step is to stop copying and start spotting. What does that mean? Stop copying other people's listings. Stop looking to bestsellers and mimicking them or tweaking them or using them as very strong inspiration for what's in your shop. Because when you do that, you're just chasing other people's shops. And think about it. They have 50,000 orders, 30,000 5-star reviews, and you are a brand new seller. Why would someone buy from you? Why would they buy a cheaper copy? It's kind of like the Temu version of the bestseller. Why would they buy the Temu version from you? Because the copy it's never really as good. You don't have the reviews to back it up. You don't have the accolades and the social proof. We need to look outside of Etsy. Etsy gets trends 6 to 8 months late. That is really late, you guys. That's extremely late. So we never want to look to Etsy for what is allegedly trending. Otherwise, you're always going to be chasing or always going to be on your back foot. We want to be proactive. We want to be driving. So how do we spot trends before they hit Etsy? One of my favorite things to do is creating Pinterest mood boards. Pinterest is a gold mine for trends if you know how to use Pinterest. Most people go to Pinterest and they start scrolling, and they're showing you very specific images. Everyone sees different images on Pinterest based on their search patterns. This means you have to learn to change your search patterns on Pinterest so that they start showing you new trends. We want you to get new news, the headlines, the trends. And so you have to retrain your Pinterest account to start showing you trends. Next is to look for premium brands who rarely put things on sale. West Elm, Restoration Hardware, Pottery Barn, Lululemon, Aloe, Viore. Look at these brands. They are often getting trends much sooner. Next, we're going to track TikTok aesthetics and then also LTK aesthetics. Does everyone know Like to Know It? There are so many trends buried in Like to Know It and TikTok, but most people, unless you're in like the blogging space, the OG blogging space, most people aren't really heavily utilizing Like to Know It. So LTK is huge. And we're always focusing on upcoming trends, not current trends. So by the time you're noticing a pattern like, oh, I'm seeing everyone is wearing powder blue, that is peaked. Okay. So by the time you notice everyone is doing this, it's not an emerging trend. It is a current trend, or you might even be on the tail end. So the key is looking for emerging trends. This is one of my favorite things to do. I was a buyer for Zappos and Zulily, which means I was responsible for picking up on trends before they hit the market. So if you want to get more visibility on Etsy, stop copying other shops, start looking to emerging trends and being the first one to bring that to the Etsy platform. The second thing to do to make sure your shop doesn't get shadow banned is to focus on buyers and not browsers. Now, this is huge. And most people think a visit is a visit. Amazing. But we don't just want a high quantity of visits, we want a high quality of visits. Not all visits have the same buying intention behind the visit. Some people are motivated to buy, and some people are just curious or randomly scrolling half asleep. So we want to serve and target customers who have a lot of money to spend. And these, I call them high LTV customers. What is LTV? I throw this word around a lot, and I think it confuses people. But since it should be your North Star, I want to make it really clear. Lifetime value of the customer is how much money the average customer spends in your shop in their lifetime. Let's say you sell $5 templates. Your LTV is $5. Well, that means customers only come to your shop one time. It's a transaction. It's a one and done purchase. They don't come back. If you sell $5 templates, I would want to see your LTV closer to $100 because that means they're purchasing on average 20 things. And it might not be all at once. It might be over the span of a few years. But the point is, we want the LTV to always be growing. And usually, high LTV customers become very loyal to your brand as well. And that's one reason they keep coming back. And some examples of high LTV customers are the Stanley customers a couple years ago, right? They were super loyal to Stanley. People don't just buy one Stanley, they collect a bunch of them and they don't quite fit in the cupboard. Have you noticed that? Lululemon, right? You don't just buy one pair of Align leggings, you are buying all the different lengths, all the different colors. Aloe, same thing. You don't just buy one hat from Aloe, you are buying the whole set. Other buyers with high LTV are people who are maybe corporate gifters. So this person is going to buy something on repeat for their clients. Same with wedding planners. Wedding planners are going to get something for the bride and the groom. That is something they are budgeting for. They're definitely going to spend money on that thing. So it's people who are definitely going to spend money on something. Teams, by the way, are another great one. Buyers are shopping with purpose. They are gifting for an event. They have to check this thing off the list. So for example, instead of selling let's say it's a set of mugs, calling it a cute mug gift set. Well, let's assign purpose to it that a buyer would have. So instead, we could call it a bridesmaid proposal gift box. Bridesmaid proposal gift, someone's going to buy that no matter what. That is something they have to buy on their list. So now you position your things in that way. So speak directly to the occasion or the recipient in your keywords. You can add on use cases like client gift or teacher appreciation or new baby welcome gift. And then focus on high intent buyers like the Lululemon Aloe customer. That's like a luxury wellness buyer, or corporate gifters who are more likely to do bulk ordering, or people like wedding planners who are repeat buyers. And for these buyers who have strong buying intention, we want to communicate the benefits appropriately. Buyers are solving a problem. They're not just bargain hunting. And this kind of leads me into the third step to ensure you don't get shadow banned. And this is with your SEO. SEO means the keywords and the structure of those keywords in your shop and in your listings. And we need SEO that is focused on the customer. And that sounds like a human. So basically how people actually search. So for example, instead of having something like a pink mug, person who's buying a mug, do they need it to be pink? Is that like a requirement? Maybe the mug says, like some joke on it. Does the person who would buy that mug, are they looking for those specific words? Or should the SEO or the keywords be something like funny gift for coworker, right? Because that is the purpose that thing solves. Or another example is cute baby onesie. Well, what is the person really buying the cute baby onesie for? Instead of that as your keywords, what about something like baby shower gift for first-time mom? That is solving a problem. That is checking something off the list. That is strong buyer intent. They're gonna buy something for that first-time mom for the baby shower. Use keywords that are describing what problem it's solving or what solution it's providing. So think about occasion, location or placement, as well as purpose or utility, and then the recipient. So instead of ceramic paw print drinkware, it might be a gift for dog mom. That is what someone would be typing. So we have these 3 first steps to get on Shadowbanned. Now we have to do something. I like to think of it like creating a big splash. Another word for it is increasing order velocity. Basically, we just need to crank that faucet on, get the sales coming faster, because that signals to Etsy that, oh, this shop is something to pay attention to. This shop is something to feature. The trend of this shop is increasing. We need to show this more because the order rate is increasing faster and faster and faster. So to do that, in the beginning, we're using loss leader listings. These are listings that are low price point, low margin. We're not going to lose money on them, but the goal for these is 20 orders per listing per day. That really helps build momentum with the algorithm. And then we're going to drive traffic with Facebook and Pinterest. Facebook, because it works the fastest. We had someone who did one Facebook post, got 100 orders in a day. That type of thing is possible when you use Facebook correctly. Pinterest is just as important, but it's the long game. So you might as well start on it now because you're going to want to be doing it long term. And to signal to Etsy, hey, my shop is worth showing, we need to get the orders going quickly. And once Etsy sees your shop is converting people, it will give you more exposure. So to recap, number 1, we're spotting trends before Etsy does. Number 2, we are serving customers who have spending power. And then number 3, we are using strong SEO that matches buyer search intent. So we're not just describing the product, we are really describing the intent of the buyer. And once you do these things, you don't just become visible again, but you actually build momentum in your shop. Now, I promised we were going to talk about shop quality score because this is something that Etsy refers to. They do not show you what your score is, but they say it matters and that there is one. And there are a few ways to boost your shop quality score. One is what I just touched on, which was order velocity. So the number of orders, the rate of orders that happen in a period of time. Second, we want to increase conversion rate. So instead of, 1 out of 100 people who sees the product buying it, we want that to be 10 out of 100 people who see it buy it. Third is the revenue per listing. There's different ways to increase this and to have upsells within your listings, but they want to see the revenue for Etsy on that listing go up. So Etsy likes to show listings where they make more money, more of a commission, you could say. And then the last thing is the percent of listings that are paying rent. Basically, if you have 100 listings in your shop, but only 1 is selling, 99 listings are dead weight. 99 listings signal to Etsy, hey, this shop, if they publish another listing, it's a 99% chance it also won't sell. If only 1 listing is selling out of the 100 listings, that's like telling Etsy there's only a 1% chance of something selling if they add it to this shop. So basically, we want to get as many listings as possible in your shop selling. For sure, over half of your listings should be selling. We don't want just 1, 2, or 3 listings selling because the rest of your shop is dead weight, and that dead weight signals to Etsy a low percent chance that new listings will sell when you add them in. So that means if it has low traffic, if it's not selling, get it out of the shop. And then we're going to double down on what's working, which means creating new variations of your top performers. Now, if you need help with that, that is what myself and my team do. We have helped over 5,800 Etsy sellers grow their shops. We do that through private, personalized coaching. That means you have 7 days a week, you have access to 2 to 3 coaches who are dedicated to your shop. You also have access to 5 group coaching calls per week, and 2 of those every week are with me. We also give you a weekly mindset/accountability call because having that mindset coaching is really important to succeed in business. Now, all of that guidance is about your specific shop. We do not give generic advice. Our coaching is focused in on your customer, your product mix, your listings, and the direction for your shop specifically. And we accompany that coaching with over 500 hours of step-by-step strategy and tutorials for you to follow. So this is not like watching YouTube videos. It's not like reading the Etsy handbook. This is actually prioritized steps for you to follow. And we add 15 hours per week for you of new strategy. And that is huge. And that ensures that the strategies that you are learning every single week are always updated. They're never outdated. If getting the help interests you, then schedule a free call with us because we don't have one option or two options. We've created over 400 custom options for people. And that's because we believe in customer first, product second. Every single person needs a different level of support. On that free Zoom call with us, we'll meet with you, chat with you about Etsy, talk about what your roadblocks are, and we'll put together something that really fits what you need and your budget as well. We never want finances to be the reason you can't get help, and you might just need a little help. Some other people might need a lot of help. So we want that help to match what you need. Whether you get our help or not, you will leave the call with clarity on next steps for your shop. If you're skeptical, if you're like, I don't know if I could actually see results or what's really possible, or you want to see feedback and the results from our students, you can see that in the back end of our program, which we are opening to the public. So I'm going to put the link in the description and then in the comments, but you will see what is possible in real time and the results that our clients are getting with our strategies. Now, if you're wondering, well, I don't know if I have time to focus on Etsy, what we teach, it's built for an hour a day. This is meant to fit into your life, not to take over your life. If you don't know what to sell yet or who to sell to, perfect. We love helping you in the beginning so that you get started the right way instead of having to redo everything you've done. If you've already started your shop, great. We help sellers, some who've been on Etsy for a very long time, like over 16 years. Some of them have made over $8 million in revenue. So we help sellers at every level. And if you're not tech savvy, don't worry, you don't need to be. If you're not a designer, don't worry, you don't need to be. We give you step-by-step tutorials. And if you've tried Etsy before and you failed, I would say you didn't fail, you just didn't have the right strategies. It's like trying to build an IKEA table, but you have directions to build a chair. Well, no wonder the table didn't turn out. You didn't have the right directions. And if you feel like, oh no, I don't have a big budget or I can't get inventory, you don't need a big budget. You don't need inventory. We can start with something very low cost, like digital products or print on demand, where it really doesn't cost you anything until you get sales. And if you're still not sure if Etsy will work for you or if getting guidance would work for you, you don't have to be sure. 100%. No one is sure. And that's why you can book a free call with us just to learn more about what is possible. And then you can access the back end of our program to see, are these results similar to what you're looking for? Again, the call is totally free and you will leave that with clarity. All right, I hope these steps on how to not get shadow banned on Etsy have been helpful to you. Definitely subscribe to the channel for more tutorials like this, and I will see you in the next one.